Hey there, good evening everybody. How's it going tonight? Texas Redleg here. Hope you're having a good end to your week. Hopefully you were able to accomplish some things and have a healthy, productive week at work and prepping and otherwise. So hopefully you're going to have a nice solid weekend as well. I want to talk about the topic of freedom tonight, because I think freedom is going to get relatively expensive very soon. And by expensive, I don't necessarily mean, monetarily. I hope everybody understands that with the amount of, I'll just call it, dirty pool being played by the United States government, politicians on both sides, woke general military staff, and empty suits at federal agencies with regard to especially military and intel agencies. Things are probably going to get real dicey. But always remember, they can only take our freedom if we, the people, allow them to. In order for them to accomplish lockdowns nationwide and limitations of general God-given freedom of movement and individual rights, they're going to have to employ a lot of personnel to try to stop something like that. And what I mean by that is, they'll have to employ U.S. military personnel, probably at all levels. We're talking about a martial law type thing, and then all law enforcement as well, in order to pull something like that off. And I sure hope, at least in my state of Texas, I sure hope that law enforcement is not playing that game, because I think that right now in this state in particular, law enforcement has a fairly good backing from the citizenry. A lot of Blue Lives Matter here, and I sure don't think they want to risk that going forward. Because let's face it, we need good cops and they need good people behind them. So in order for them to pull something like mass lockdowns off, or what do you call them, freedom zones, green zones, vaccinated zones, whatever you want to call it, sophisticated zones, maybe, I don't know what they're going to try to name these things, if it's rumors are true. But I would encourage everybody to sit back and listen and watch. If you've got friends, family in the military or in law enforcement, I would talk to them, and get their temperature on things. Because at the end of the day, a lot of people in those professions have families too. And again, a career is one thing. Protecting your family and being able to move freely and take care of your business is different than making a living. And I had no doubt that this particular federal government probably wants to nationalize law enforcement in some sort of way, like they do in Germany, for example. German police are fully federalized police. They wear the same uniforms, they drive the same vehicles, the same color, uniforms. They have different departments and, detectives and this and that, but they are of, the same jurisdiction, so to speak. And they have different, states over there, but they're all federalized police. And that's how they operate. And it runs pretty smooth, quite honestly, but I would have no doubt that that's something that this government would like to pull off at some point because they can control them. So another offshoot of, or risk to that way of thinking by the government is that you're destroying your tax base, and again, typically, act before you think is something that I would probably expect from them, judging by this Afghanistan debacle, which hell may be part of the plan overall too. It's hard to say. So I guess the point of this video is that, again, they can only take our freedoms if we, the people, allow them to. So think about that for a second. And, basically to hold the line, stand your ground. I'm not telling you to go out there and do anything illegal, but, maintaining a home and staying in your home or going out in public, not committing crimes, that's within your rights to do so. And I'm just going to encourage people to stock up on those things that will enhance your level of self-defense. And that would be, statically at home or on the move. I would really encourage everybody, if you don't have anything in that department, do some research. By this weekend, go fill that void, if you have one. I think the birds are singing, and you got to listen, to your gut, your gut instinct, and you got to watch what's going on. It's almost too much to keep up with now. Look out for the black swans, look out for the red flags, look out for the herrings, the Trojan horses, all that stuff. So another video, a portion of this video I wanted to discuss was Texas and the, secede movement. And, it's a pretty popular topic amongst, native and non-native Texans. And certainly one that I've pondered for a long time. And everybody has a difference of opinion on it, whether it could even be done and what it takes to get done. And the federal government would never go for it. We'd probably get attacked, It's a lot more to it than most people think legally. But, I'm of the opinion that if we are stripped of our rights anyway, federally, which looks like what they're trying to do, and overtaxed federally, we may as well secede and just be our own republic again. And we'll just have a sales tax, a 15% sales tax, flat tax across the board. That way everybody pays their fair share. You buy a pack of cigarettes, 15%. You buy a car, 15%. Get rid of the income tax altogether. We don't have one in Texas anyway. But I think with our numbers now, I think a 15% sales tax would probably do the trick statewide. Anything you buy, 15% tax, but no income tax. Now, of course, the feds would, bitch and moan. Of course, they want this income tax, from us, very heavily populated state. But aside from needing federal aid once in a while for storm damage, and STEMI money, which hell, most of us are working here anyway. I don't see a need for the federal government, quite honestly. I know there's a couple more things they provide, but if we're going to be taxed to death and freedom's reduced, we're just existing to keep them fed. Screw that. So I'm, perfectly fine with having the discussion, putting it to a referendum or whatever it might be. And those that don't, if it were to go through, and those that didn't want to be part of that could obviously move out, go somewhere else. It'd be okay. But so it's definitely something to ponder and consider. I certainly am not against it on its face, especially with what's going on right now. It would take us 5 minutes to put an army together. We already have a coast. We have a port system. We have refineries. We have agriculture, energy, plenty of water and lakes, great highways. A lot of those are interstates, but they screw those up every time they touch them anyway. So, I don't know, something to ponder and think about, I guess. I'm not opposed to secession, but there's a lot more to it than just Texas saying we're leaving. It would be a pretty heavy battle, quite honestly. But I hope everybody is planning for a good, solid weekend. Don't forget, in Texas, on September 1st, we have constitutional carry begins. So if you're legally eligible to carry a firearm, I would certainly do so. But with that, hope everybody has a great weekend. Keep prepping, stack it deep, and long live the Republic.